This is the Brilliantly Branded podcast, a safe place to have a voice and talk about branding and all the reasons that bring a brand to be brilliantly branded. I am your host, Maria Lucia Romero, and I am welcoming you to this journey of learning and inspiration to build awareness around the brands. This is the Brilliantly Branded podcast. Our guest today is a woman that has been leading the field in 3D printing clay and transforming it into extraordinary creations. During our conversation, Angelika shared her journey of building Äerd Lab, taking us on a roller coaster ride of challenges, triumphs, and everything in between. But that's not all. Angelika reveals the secret ingredients behind the branding success of Äerd Lab, offering invaluable insights on how to position a brand that resonates deeply with its audiences. So she reminds us that a brand is not just a logo or a catchy slogan. It is about embracing a mission that can change lives and leave a lasting impact. So if you're ready to be inspired and challenged by Angelika Bocian-Jaworska, the woman behind of Äerd Lab brand, then you definitely don't want to miss this episode. So grab a cup of coffee or tea or whatever you want to drink and get ready to immerse yourself in a story that will make yourself feel inspired and awake your passion for making a difference in the world. So welcome to the Brilliantly Branded podcast. So, we have a remarkable guest who is revolutionizing the world of sustainability materials and construction. She's the mastermind behind Äerd Lab, her brand, and she, Angelika, has been leading the field into 3D printing, clay transformation, and she has been doing an extraordinary creation. Actually, just 2 weeks ago, her brand groundbreaking innovation in the Circular Economy Challenge, and they earned the prize in the multifunctional urban furniture category. That is true, right, Angelika?
Yes. Hello, Maria. Thank you. Thanks for having me, first of all.
Welcome. And actually, I want to invite you and let's dive into a conversation when you will have the opportunity to let us know a bit more details about your brand and about your product. So would you please share with our audiences a little bit about yourself and how you got started with your brand, Äerd Lab?
Sure. So Äerd Lab is a startup. It's based in Luxembourg, and now it's on its way towards sustainable architecture, which basically means 3D printed clay architecture. And I know it can be a bit surprising, especially in Luxembourg, but trust me, it's a good direction for construction, and I would say it's the only one direction we can take right now. So my daily job is 3D printing clay. Of course, I started with the small scale. So I started with ceramics. So with the mugs, some people, and you also know some of my products. Basically ceramics that we can use every day, mugs, vases, and so on. But obviously, that was just the first step. Now I'm very happy because Äerd Lab is entering this second phase, which is 3D printing furniture and 3D printing bricks, clay bricks that don't need to be fired, the same with furniture. And then the last stage will be 3D printing clay houses on site. So basically, just
This is big. This is something amazing. When I heard about that, for me was innovation, because 3D printing clay is something new for me, and I think that for many people around, and is something very innovative, and that bringing a lot of value to our environment nowadays. And my question is, what inspire you to the venture into this world of 3D printing clay, and pursuing this career in sustainability?
I would say that it's kind of merging all the experience I got. Well, I was studying in different places and living in different places. And as an architect, you have a kind of special connection to those places. I think I took all the best parts of it. So I had a chance to work in Switzerland in the architecture office in the office, which was very special to me because like taking care of every detail, but I mean very precisely every detail, determine the quality of architecture, which stayed with me. I think that's the basics I built as an architect in my life. But then I studied in Liechtenstein, and our studies were based on sustainable architecture, but traditional methods, which I was not really maybe fully convinced of. So basically clay architecture, but very traditional ways. And then I had the opportunity to go to Shanghai for exchange, and I noticed that in China there are construction sites actually even without humans, more or less. So only robots can build
Yeah.
even a bamboo house. And that was a groundbreaking for me because it was also for me as a European first time I saw something like this, really working. Um, so then my question was like how to merge all these things, because I fell in love with this idea that we can build new typology of architecture, something we haven't seen before, so more organic design, and but built much faster and with less effort than right now, cheaper, and with sustainable materials, which I learned in Liechtenstein. So then when I the chance also to select my postgraduate studies. That was in Barcelona about 3D printing clay architecture. So all of this together, and I ended up in Luxembourg, in our beautiful place. So I decided, okay, I will try to implement it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the wrap of the whole story
Well, it's
behind.
it's incredible how the things have been connected and end up creating something really significant for the planet in certain way. Because I think that the value that you are adding with your brand and with your product is really making a big, big impact, especially nowadays with all the things related with sustainability. And one of the things that make me think about your brand is how did you arrive, or what was that moment specifically when you create, okay, this is the name that I'm going to give to my brand, and I'm going to develop this brand.
So as you know as well, that if you create your company, let's say your brand, it's something at the beginning very personal. And for me, that was something that I wanted to have part of me inside, but also connected to the place where it was founded. So here in Luxembourg, and at the same time to give this the very first impression what this could be. Um, so I was searching honestly for the word which can describe it, and the word that exists only in Luxembourgish language, because it was based here and it was founded here. And Äerd is actually the word which exists only in Luxembourgish, which
Yeah.
means earth as a planet, but also as a material. So as earth,
Yes.
the soil. So I was very proud, I have to say, when I found this word and I asked my Luxembourgish speaking friend, is it a good word? And they said yes. So I was very happy about the name, and then I continued with like building everything around it. Um, yeah, with this logic. So always to remember wherever Äerd Lab will be based, we have quarters. it was based and founded in Luxembourg.
Yeah, it's evident that it's in Luxembourg because the word is in Luxembourgish, and I love it the way that you have been even using it in the graphical side. No, the way that you write this word is make that looks very catchy. Just the name, when you
Right.
use it, put it next to the lab, and you use an element. No, you use an additional element to identify your brand that is connected with the designs that you are doing. In fact.
Right.
So I think that demonstrate how the brand have been connected with the concept. And maybe you can explain us a little bit more. How do you connect, or did you connect the icon with the name of the brand?
So obviously also the connection between Äerd and Lab. Lab is it's a word I think which is quite commonly used right now in all kind of like innovation startups, which was also like that's why I selected it, also because it's a lot of experimenting. But yes, if at the very beginning I made my own logo, it was just letters and like in a circle. Um, Obviously, that was my own design. So like everyone, maybe not everyone, but if you have no experience, you start with like your own skills. Then, for now, I had the logo which was designed by Anastasia, by a graphic designer. But what I wanted to say basically with my logo is that it's kind of circular because of, when my 3D printers print, they go around always, and then next layer and next layer. But at the same time, it's circular design as well.
Correct.
So if you see the logo, you can recognize, okay, that's something which is 3D printed, so layer by layer, but it also, and every layer it's closed, so it's like a loop. It's a circle. So that's what was the message behind, and I hope it will be more and more visible right now.
Yeah, the good thing is actually you are communicating across an icon next to the name all your concept, and I think that have a lot of value, and that is the reason why I found your brand brilliantly branded, because I found that connection, and I just wanted to our audiences to know what these kind of things are coming from and how the things born, how the creator of a brand became with these kind of things in order to connect the dots. Even if you are not, as you well said, I mean, I'm not have the skills specifically to design a logo, but all the concept behind of that creation are really making and building up a brand, and very important brand that is really delivering the concept that you wanted to put since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So that is probably one of the things to really enhance here, and is the fact that you put an intention to this, the name, the design, the logo, and the concept. And coming back to actually the values of your brands, how do you communicate those values and missions of your brand to your target audience nowadays?
Because what you mentioned is very important, that it's not easy to announce your whole message with just with logo, or with your I don't know, with the name, with the logo, yes. But as I mentioned at the beginning, the message of Äerd Lab is quite complex, and this is not easy um, to inform your audience, about all the aspects, because obviously I have ceramics, and I started with ceramics, which is available for sale before it's sold out. But now it's quite fast sold out, so I'm happy. But at the beginning, I had to inform everyone, "Hi, that's ceramics, and I want to introduce the ceramics to you, so you can use it." But this is just the first step. So basically, what I wanted to communicate is that if you want to be part of Äerd Lab community, if you want to support my big mission, you can just get this little mug, and this will stay with you, and it will help Äerd Lab to be pushed to the next levels. So this is not easy to communicate all of this only with with one card you give to clients, because obviously I started with like some cards. With social media, I started only with Instagram, and I had no experience with social media. Then I found out these oceans which are
Yes.
around, because there is LinkedIn and there is which at the beginning was for me like, oh, I will never touch this, but yeah, you have to. Then
You
there
have
was
to.
Facebook, because like all my research, not my personal, but with the ads and like all the analytics I had behind, showed that actually clients for my ceramics are mostly on Facebook, not on Instagram.
Correct.
So then I thought, okay, I will have to find also the way how to have all my clients like this, let's say the closest audience in one place. That's why I had a newsletter on my website, which I'm sending like once per month, or so not that it's not every week, but when something is going on, so more or less once per month. And that's the closest audience which wants to be informed about the ceramics, but also what's going on. So I have like 3 topics always there. It's news, events, and shop. So basically what's going on in Äerd Lab, how is it going with the way to 3D printing clay architecture. Then events, if I have an exhibition or I'm taking part in or I'm organizing any workshops, and then shop, so new collections or like collaborations. So what's going on. And I noticed that that's actually quite important tool, like a newsletter, to reach these people who are really want to be informed, and maybe they are not on Instagram. Now we are facing always problems with algorithm. Oh, is it showing the videos or pictures, or so basically some of your content is just not visible, not seen by them. But with a newsletter, then you just send it directly to people who want to be informed. So that's yeah.
So that means that the kind of audience that you have been chosen is which one specifically?
Actually, it's the audience is cannot be let's say it's not just one type of client. So there are people more interested in architecture and like design, so architects, young, but also a bit older. They are like people who are interested in ceramics only. And I noticed like quite a big group of tourists who visited my store, and then they so I see always like the people from outside of Luxembourg. They are always from the countries who are actually were visiting my store in Pfaffenthal. So it's hard to say that it's just one type of person. There are different different people, from different, mostly of course from Luxembourg, but I have to say like half of my sales it's to Netherlands right now.
Wow.
So yeah.
This is your more captive audience.
Yes.
But in terms of competitors, because as I have heard that 3D printing for me was new, I don't know how many competitors do you have now around you, or maybe here in Europe is something more common, but I don't know. Can you explain us a little bit more about that?
So the market for 3D printing clay, it's I would say 3D printing in general is well known. 3D printing with plastic, any type of plastic.
Yeah.
But that's not kind of my competitors because we are doing different things. It's a different story. 3D printing with clay. It takes a lot of time to get experience. How far you can go. I would say most of the competitors in Europe are in Italy. And the reason for that is very simple, because the company which is a manufacturer of 3D printers for clay, for small ones, but for ceramics, but also for the big ones for houses, they already exist, the machines. So it's based in Italy. So obviously they are selling most of their equipment there. But I would not say that they are competitors, because 3D printing clay, as you noticed, can be many different activities. Can be
Yes.
ceramics. Most of the people start with ceramics. Then some of them go only to furniture, but sometimes it's fired furniture, so only indoor. Sometimes it's outdoor, but that's more research behind. So they are more like research institutions than private companies. So yeah, I would not say that they're like competitors in, okay, maybe in a kind of like in the ceramics market, yes, but for like more challenging projects, these are more or less always research institutions with collaboration with other companies. So um, I'm happy to follow some of them. I hope most of them, because it's always a good base for my private research. When I mean for not private, but for their future research. Sometimes when you have a project which is challenging, you can invite somebody who has experience in this topic. So I'm mostly like research oriented right now, so I don't feel like that's the competition, itself for now.
Okay.
But
For
let's
now.
see. Yeah.
Well, you have a quite a lovely and inspirational mission that is 3D printing houses on site
Yeah.
using locally available clay. And I think that you are going to start introducing the eggshells, if I am not wrong.
Yeah.
So I think that is very interesting way to put it a product into the market with something very specific and make it different. So you are not just in a field like a 3D printing in clay, but at the same time you are adding a new product that is going to really making a big impact in terms of circular economy. Can you explain us a little bit more about that mission?
Of course, it's my daily job to explain this amazing mission. Yes, correct. I would say that Äerd Lab's mission is 90% about material, because that's what defines your final product. Doesn't matter if it's ceramics or if it's a brick or if is it house at the end. So why clay basically? So we are facing now crisis, housing crisis, yes, and also ecological crisis, and debating about this is like endless stories, and it's fine, it's necessary, but like me myself, I wanted to find an answer. Debating, it's not enough. Definitely, it's not enough. And
Exactly.
the first statement I will share with everyone: we have to stop with concrete at one point. I know we cannot stop now. It's because the industry, has to produce. But at one point, if we think about this, we are also facing shortage of sand. If you think about like United Arab Emirates, they have to import sand for construction. It's already funny, right? But it's tragic actually, because the sand, we have to extract sand from the oceans, from the bottom of the oceans to be used for construction sites. It makes no sense. Then transport is like hundreds or thousands of kilometers. Then also, if we talk about CO2, like 20 or more, it depends on the source, 20% of global CO2 emissions, it's caused because of construction sector. And this is mostly because of concrete production, so mostly because of cement. So the answer is clear. You have to stop with concrete and with cement. That's why. So I'm doing experiments at the university before, but now as I'm working in Äerd Lab, of how to find a replacement for concrete, but the replacement which can be even better than concrete. So clay is one of these answers. It's the very first construction material like we as a humanity used. Yes. It has amazing properties, much better than concrete, but of course there are also disadvantages. And to kind of reinforce clay, also if you talk about brick, but if we talk about furniture as well, and then the house, you need something which is like a green cement, let's call it. So the competition you mentioned, Circular by Design Challenge, I tested actual powder as this green cement and checked if this can improve clay itself, like small percentage, like 5% of actual powder, if this can improve the whole piece, the strength of the whole piece. So it means you can basically sit on top of it, right?
Make it stronger.
Yeah. So it can transport loads. And the answer was yes, which was very promising, obviously, especially in Luxembourg when we have a lot of actual waste, because we are on the third place in Europe in egg consumption.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know where this is coming from, but okay, it's a very good numbers that you already have.
which makes, I think, more or less 1 egg per person per day.
Oh,
more
wow.
or less.
Wow.
And for me, it was also like kind of surprising, as like that's not possible, because if you calculate the amount of waste at the end of the year, it's really shocking. But after this research and even after the competition, I found a company here in Luxembourg, which is kind of producing this waste. So they want to extract the egg from the eggshells. They told me the numbers they have per month, and it was like, wow, it was really surprising.
Something,
So why just get rid of this waste if this waste can be a resource, for example, for construction sector. So for me, so the whole concept of Äerd Lab is like how to build, yes, but build with maybe not without producing future waste, but using something which is called waste but can be upcycled, even not even recycled but upcycled. And I think that's one aspect of circularity, for sure.
Yes.
But there is the second one, which is even more important, which is about like, what are we going to do with this product after? Because if it's ceramics or if it's furniture, okay, it's also a lot of like a big amount. But what are we going to do with the concrete houses one day?
Yeah.
Nobody has an answer. So
that's true.
That's why I would say, let's go clay. And then if you don't need this house, you can just demolish it. You crush it to the small pieces and you can put it back to ground, and it will not change the pH of the soil around.
Yeah.
So
actually will help us.
Exactly. If you have actual powder inside, it will help.
Yeah.
It will improve the soil locally. So
yeah, it's incredible how you have been thinking in all those details and all the cycle around that, and will build really a change in the humanity, in certain way, because what you said is true. The impact that the constructions have been having in us is something that we cannot actually control. And in all this process, discovering all the things that you have been discovering, I think you have been a many challenge in front.
Yeah.
So you can share with us some of those challenges in the process that you have been created that behind Äerd Lab.
So obviously there are like challenges every day. Challenges. There is a part of like technical issues and like research issues and like all the technical problems you have to solve and like test your materials. And obviously at the same time, there are challenges in having your own business. As a one person, I started alone. Of course, I have like advisors and experts who I'm asking for their opinion or for help for some projects. But basically everything depends on like me. So on the one person, if you start with the company. So I think the main challenge is always to just how to organize yourself, how to have everything, be done on time. And at the same time, you have to sometimes switch off your research thinking and just focus on the very basic things which has to be done for any shop or for your business. And sometimes you have to just stop doing this because there is a like work to be done and you have deadlines all the time. And so you have to be Leonardo da Vinci, like having all the skills, which me as an architect, nobody takes care of that at school. We didn't have any business education or like entrepreneur skills, because we are focused only on architecture. And now I'm facing this like very fast learning processes. And I would say that, all these business related, so public speaking related issues are the main challenging for me.
Okay.
Because research can be done and, but sometimes you have to talk about your brand in front of the audience. So you have just one chance, or people are interested or not. And this depends on the future of your company sometimes, because you want to get partner for a project or you want to win the competition. And this situation, the way how you present your company, that it's catchy, but it's also like serious, I think that's the main challenge for me.
Yeah, the message behind your brand, behind your business, the way that you are expressing what is this about. And yeah, I can understand how challenge is this. And I think that you have been doing an amazing job. And actually was demonstrated 2 weeks ago when you really got this circular economy prize in the category of multifunctional furniture, right? It was 2 weeks ago, and I'm wondering, how are you going to plan to leverage your brand based on that prize? Because I think it's very impactful and inspirational for everybody around.
So this challenge, Circular by Design Challenge, was organized by Lux Innovation, so Ministry of Economy. It attracted a lot of attention, I need to admit, especially right now. And I'm super happy that I was selected as a winner. One thing is because I really believe in this project. So the furniture, which can be 3D printed with clay and actual powder, doesn't need to be fired and can be used as an outdoor furniture. So I really hope that, so now we are starting slowly to organize all the discussions about, like full production, let's say full one-to-one scale production of my pieces that can be tested later. And it will be like very first meeting with the kind of industry, where your pieces have to be tested in professional labs if they can be used for people. So I'm stressed, but I'm also like positively stressed. I'm excited to go into this direction. At the same time, it's a lot of visibility for my brand. That's true. And it's a good moment, I have to say, because I'm also starting like my first pre-seed funding round. And I was, of course, discussing with some with people who were interested as investors before, and they said, okay, but you need some also validation for like bigger institutions that you are serious, or that you can be serious one day.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it gave me this these cards in my hands saying like, yes, here I am. So you can be on board, like, let's all hands on board, and then you can be part of it. So I think I will, of course, that's just an award, but it's for a company like mine, it's not only competition. It's like a gate which is now being opened for some serious and more challenging experiences and like projects. So because obviously I'm now diving into more R&D, so research and development like phase. So I'm very optimistic right now, and I'm super happy. I have to say, it was a week ago, but I'm so excited every day that it's hard to focus because it means really a lot. After 2 years of having your own brand, struggling, just trying to get anywhere you can with your brand, when somebody finally very like institution like Lux Innovation, and a jury which was like full of members which are very like professionals, say like, yes, we trust in your idea, so just prove that you can really make it. This means a lot for a brand owner. So yeah.
Yeah, from where did you bring all the inspiration? Because I see that you have this power, this inspiration, this drive all the time, and this is something that I want to ask you: from where are you bringing all this power?
Wow, that's a question. Also, like I was asked a few times. I don't know. It's just your brand is like about you at the
Yes.
beginning. It's just me. So there is like no way back at this moment. Of course, there's always a way back. But if you invest all your energy, also all your money, into something which is growing, I think this gives you so much energy and like motivation to continue. Of course, it's not always ups, no, and I would say it's maybe even more downs. And the challenge is how to push it through the all these waves and this rough time when it's not nice, when it's, for example, when nothing works, or like you're stuck with like any projects. And then yeah, I'm trying to think like, then I have my notebook, always writing like strategy for development of Äerd Lab, different ways. Maybe this doesn't work. Maybe I would try this. And then you have this energy to try again and to try something else. And obviously, people who you have around who support you, I think that's the key aspect. They are not visible in a brand, but
Yeah.
they are like hard also the brands. So family, friends who believe in you, and then they
Yeah.
always tell you like, okay, that's this. Like every startup or every company has this done, or like this moment when you think like it will not work, but then if you just push it a little bit, then you see the results, and this is exactly what happened. So yeah, I think it's like your self motivation, because it's your baby, it's your brand, and you want it to grow because you
Yeah.
invested so much.
Yeah.
And at the same time, people who are like family, around you, saying like, yeah, you have to just go for it, and we will help you, we'll support you. And yeah, so I'm super happy to have them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
keep going. Keep going is actually the self motivation, because when you stop, even when the things are not going well, and you decide, well, this is not working, I'm going to stop. But there is always something that keeping you going, and then became even more inspirational, because when you see some brands, you just see the top of the iceberg. You just see, well, yeah, they success, they have been doing nice things, but you never know what is happening behind that. And
exactly,
sharing
exactly.
that experiences, and letting the people know that if they are struggle sometimes, is completely normal. No, because we are thinking,
Yes.
no, people sometimes is just doing the things well, and I am the only one that is probably not going very well.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then you
but it's not
realize,
true. Yes, yes. And one more tip. I maybe it can help someone, but it helps me when it's like a very bad situation. You in your head, you think like, okay, I'm in a very bad situation. Why it happened to me? Then I talk to myself like, treat it as a lesson. This is a lesson you have for free, uh, and just take it as a gift. As, of course, these lessons sometimes they are not nice, and they are not the gift you want to get. But when you think about it after a few months, or with a distance, there's something like, you think, okay, nothing better actually could happen to me, because now I know, for like maybe more serious cases, what can happen, which mistakes you make. So sometimes you have to pay also, like financially, you have to pay for these mistakes. But
correct.
if you think like, okay, I had this lesson learned, now for the future, I will be smarter. I think that's something you cannot learn from any book, from YouTube, nowhere. You just have to experience. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true. That's true. And this is a very beautiful advice, because actually, sometimes when we know that, we don't know how to put it in practice in our own lives. So we are just thinking in many things, and don't probably learning about our mistakes. and how we can really use that as a gift, as you well said. And I love that because it's really something that make a call on me, especially because sometimes you are doing things and you are not learning the lessons about the things that really can give it to you this lesson learned and apply into your life. So it's
Exactly.
really a lot of things that is necessary to keep in mind when you are behind of a business, behind of a brand, when you decide to go for it and keep it this drive all the time and this women power that make us do what we decide to do and go for it. So I really
I think so.
appreciate all of the things that you already share with us, Angelika. Thank you very much. I really wish you all the best because I see a lot of potential and a big future behind Äerd Lab and behind,
Thank you.
of course, you, the head behind the brand. And wanted to congratulate you because you really make a beautiful brand that
Thank you.
if now is brilliantly branded, you can imagine in the future. So thank you for the value that you are adding to the planet, in fact, because this is a brand that really are giving to us a lot of satisfaction in the point that we are going to use that for many positive things. So thank you very much,
Thank
Angelica,
you.
to be here with us. I don't know if you want to add something else.
Uh, yeah, maybe if I get like to, if I can give you like also to the people who will be listening, to maybe people who inspire me. It doesn't mean that it's not only about architecture, but if I think about sometimes when I don't have ideas or if I want to just get inspired by something, like with the creation, there are two women that I think they have amazing brands, and I wanted to share with you. So my biggest dream is one day to be this as professional and as uh, innovative as Neri Oxman.
Oh,
Neri
wow.
Oxman she's a director of MIT Media Lab.
Yeah.
I highly recommend to everyone to make a deep investigation about her design.
Yeah.
That's something which is purely amazing, and it's hard to explain her ideas of the design, but you can just imagine um, the design which is made by insects, or
Oh
like
my goodness.
life, or
This is
that's
another
something is
level.
it's another level. One day I'm dreaming to have at least a bit of skills as she has. And the second one that maybe but if not, if you think about fashion, like
Yeah.
kind of, it's the brand called Iris van Herpen.
Okay.
That's also another level of fashion for me, and maybe not everyday fashion. Oh, I wish, but if I think if you want to get inspired by something which is completely new, it's something you haven't seen before,
Okay.
and like how people can imagine, design, and build things. These
Okay.
two brands, one is like personal brand, this another one is a fashion brand, but I highly recommend to anyone to check these two ladies. And
Where is this brand coming from?
I think from the Netherlands, but
Okay.
it's it's like how to create 3D, uh, clothing. I don't know, dresses. How it's for me even like hard to imagine how you can design this and then
Okay.
put into pieces to kind of cut it out and then put it together as a one form. But I have to say that if you like beautiful forms, that's the place to check. And yeah, my dream is one day to get one of these dresses for very special occasions. So
Yeah,
yeah.
well, you are doing and going in the right way because you are doing things different. And as those examples that you gave us, this women inspiration, I think that you are in the going in the same way. So
Oh,
you are
hope
doing
so.
very well. I think that them at some point have to start and start building something around, and then the results is evident. to the world. So this is the most important part. You are there. And I'm really, really so happy to have the opportunity to share this moment with you and with all our audiences, and just hope that all the things continue going very well for you.
Thank you so much, Maria, for all your words. Anytime we see each other, thank you for your energy and your motivation. I think you're the person who should talk about like how to have the motivation, not me. I think you're the
Thank
one.
you.
So thank you
you
so much for having me, and I'm happy to meet you again anywhere. I'm always
for sure
I always
this little
smile.
Luxembourg. With this little Luxembourg,
Yes.
we have the opportunity to share a lot, and
Yes.
and still having the moment to create, and the moment to chat, and add value even to the universe, maybe.
Right.
Okay, right. Angelika, thank you very much, and
Thank
have a
you.
beautiful, beautiful day.
Thank you. Same for you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
We hope you have been inspired by this content and join us for future episodes of the Brilliantly Branded podcast. We will continue exploring the power of branding and the stories behind successful brands. And remember, if you know a woman who has built a successful brand with a unique approach and a story to share, please refer them to our podcast. We will love to learn from their experiences and share their stories with our listeners. So stay tuned for more episodes of Brilliantly Branded, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn for more branding insights and updates. Until the next episode. Ciao, ciao.